Hi guys, welcome back to Cooking with Claudia. Today I'm going to show you how to cook steak perfectly every time. I'll show you how to sear your steak to get that nice crisp crust on the outside and juicy tender on the inside. So let's get started. Okay you guys, I have some steak here. I'm using New York strip. This type of steak is very good for pan searing because they come in really thick cuts. You have to make sure your steak is between 1 and 1.5 inches thick because such thickness will keep your steak tender during the cooking process. If you use a very thin steak, your steak will dry out. You should also make sure your steak has these white fat running through them because they'll keep your steak really tender and juicy during the cooking. Alright, first we're going to season the steak with salt and pepper. You have to be a little generous with your salt and pepper, otherwise your steak will be bland. Go ahead and pat the salt and pepper into the steak, then turn them over and season the other side as well. Once your steak is very well seasoned, you're going to let them sit on the counter for 30 minutes to come to room temperature, that way they cook evenly. Next, we're going to cook the steak, so heat up a skillet over high heat. You want your pan to get really hot and smoky because that's how you're going to get the crisp sear. Go ahead and drizzle some olive oil into your pan. Let the oil get nice and hot, then start cooking your steak. As soon as your steak hits the pan, you should hear such loud sizzle. That means your steak is searing very well. Allow the steak to cook for exactly 4 minutes and make sure you don't move them around in the pan. Just let them cook untouched, that way they sear properly. I like my steak medium rare, so I turned them over and cooked them for 4 extra minutes. And you'll notice your steak has a beautiful sear. That's exactly what we want. As soon as you've turned your steak, you can start building flavor. So I crushed some garlic and tossed them into the pan. I also added some fresh thyme as well as butter. Allow the butter to melt in the pan and start frying the thyme and garlic in the butter to release their beautiful flavors. Then use that melted flavored butter to baste your steak. Basting the steak keeps them juicy, tender, and it packs them with so much flavor. You should also sear the sides of your steak to render all the fat on the sides. All that fat around the meat is good flavor, so searing that packs the meat with extra flavor. So right before my steak was done, I turned them over a couple of times just to baste them to keep them juicy. And I cooked them for a total of 8 to 9 minutes for a good medium rare. If you like your steak medium or well done, I'll leave all the different cooking times in the description box. However, if you want accurate results, you have to use a meat thermometer. I aimed for about 130 degrees Fahrenheit for a good medium rare. Once your steak has reached the desired temperature, you are ready to enjoy. But before that, you have to let them sit for about 10 minutes before cutting through. That way the juices don't run out. The steak came out really juicy. I feel like medium rare steak is the best because it's really tender. Some people think the pink in the middle is raw, but it's really not raw at all. It's safe to eat. It's actually a protein called myoglobin that stays pink. It's really safe to eat. Anyways, if you guys want the ingredients and measurements, check out the description box. I have everything there. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell button. I'll see you soon. Bye.